evening, everyone. It's Kara Delane. Welcome to After Dark. Hey, Ted, how are you today?
Hey, Kara, I'm pretty good. How you doing?
I am wonderful.
I really enjoyed that guest we had last week. She was a powerhouse, Samantha Foster.
I think I need to take her to Vegas with me. Maybe I'd earn some money.
I think they might already have her on a list. You better be careful if you're seen
Yeah.
walking around with her.
Yeah, I might get kicked out. Well, hey, Ted, we've been calling this show After Dark. Why did you name it After Dark? What do you think that people talk about in dealerships, after hours?
I think they talk about all the things that we maybe can't talk about in store with each other because, of course, we're so busy doing business with clients and so on, and of course, fellow employees. But we talk about, what happened at the end of the day, and it's a time to talk about relationships and learn more about people as well. So I thought it was a good idea to take the show, put it on Monday nights, and have you and I interview a featured guest, of which we have an amazing guest here today, and learn more about that person and what they do.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear from our special guest today. I know he's got some interesting background as well.
Yeah, he does. And I've known him for quite a while, so he's amazing, as I said. And I also want to, Kara, thank our exclusive sponsor for this event. It's BG Products. They are the exclusive sponsor of this Monday night edition, Partners Beyond Products. So we want to thank BG for all they do for our industry. They do a whole lot, Kara. And for those of you who don't know, they are celebrating right now their 50th anniversary. And we've got a short video to show you about BG Products.
In 1971, our 7 founders turned an idea into a business. Today, we celebrate 50 years of innovation in the automotive aftermarket, leading the pack every step of the way. We wanted a way to show recognition for all the people who helped this small Midwestern company become a global leader in automotive maintenance. A logo is a symbol of who you are and what you do. This logo is centered around 50 years, which marks BG's major milestone. The ribbons on the side represent this great celebration. The shield signifies strength through products, through partnership, through character. The oil drop is iconic throughout the BG family, representing quality products. The 7 stars are a tribute to the 7 founders, if only they could see us now. Thank you for your continued support as we drive to a successful future together. Please join us in celebrating BG's first 50 years.
Wow.
And in the automobile business, 50 years is a long time. And you see a lot of things, that happen, a lot of cycles in our business, right? So to last and to endure and to be a giant like BG Products is really, it really says a whole lot about that company, Kara.
Yeah, I love the point there they made about how the founders, if they could only see it today, how far they've come and how much growth they've had, I can only imagine what they would be thinking right now.
When I first went down to Wichita, I got a chance to meet one of those founders. His name was Galen Myers. He recently passed away. And Darren, who you just saw, Darren's the chairman now. Darren was and still is the distributor up in Michigan. But what he was doing, he would drive around, Kara, in his van from dealership to dealership and deliver the products. And I would go with Darren in his van. Okay, that's how I met him. Okay, and that goes as far as back as I can remember with BG, but he was probably their best distributor, best salesperson. And, here he is today. So.
Wow. That's amazing. So you got to see it firsthand too. That's pretty neat.
Yeah. Great stuff.
Yeah. And Ted, I just want to mention that the Fixed Ops Roundtable, of course, and BG Products want to remind everybody about our support of the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, as we are raising $100,000 with your help. We will do it, guys. I think we've got a graphic to show you guys where you can go to donate at fixedopsdonate.com. And I've donated. I've told everybody I know to donate. So anybody watching us today, please share that URL with anybody that you know that might be able to help us out in our goal of $100,000.
And we're more than halfway there. We started in our November show, Kara, and we're gonna, you can donate right now, everybody, at fixedopsdonate.com. And are they still gonna have time to donate up until the next event, or what? How's that gonna work?
Oh, yes. It's all open up until our March event. So you've got still quite a ways to go to reach our goal.
And we want to introduce our audience right now, real briefly, to a young man. His name is Jude Anderson, Kara, and he's something of a celebrity at the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. And his family has shared his cancer journey as part of the LLS Children's Initiative, which we don't hear a whole lot about. You're going to be seeing Jude on the upcoming show, and we wanted to give you a little taste of what's coming up.
Hi, my name is Jude. I had cancer 4 times, and I'm alive. And I'm alive. And there was the therapy called T-cell
therapy.
T-cell therapy.
That saved my life.
And that they saved my life.
And now I can go to school.
And now I can go to school with my friends. And I met cool friends.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
What do we say?
Yay!
Like the tribe there backing him up. That's amazing.
Yeah, so we're going to get a chance to meet him live on the show, and his mom, Barbara, and what the family has done. She's become a real big spokesperson for the Children's Initiative. Like I said, we don't hear a whole lot about that. We'll hear more about it as we lead up to the show. And also that donate link, fixedopsdonate.com, is inside this month's Fixed Ops magazine, right on page number 59. So Fixed Ops magazine also, Kara, is read by a lot of influential people in our industry throughout the dealership. And you want to make sure that you pick up this latest edition of Fixed Ops magazine, like Kara does, and catch up on all the latest stuff. And again, there's 2 different ads. There's a full page and a half-page ad on Fixed Ops Donate and the charity that we're doing to raise that $100,000 for Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. So want to thank Fixed Ops magazine and Ron Overs for that as well.
Ever since I've had the Fixed Ops magazine with you on the cover laying around on my desk, that just about every person that's walked in my office has asked me if they could have it, or at least read it and then return it to me later. So I thought that was pretty neat.
Well, good,
like,
because
I need to get some more copies.
they just shipped me about 100 copies, so I'm going to send you a bunch this week.
All right, sounds good.
All right, right now I want to introduce our guest, if that's okay, everybody. And it is none other than David Foy from Quantum 5 and the Fixed Ops Mastermind. David, welcome.
Thank you. Appreciate being here.
Hey, Dave, looks good. I see you got the Quantum logo going on there behind. There it is. Look at that.
The big Q. Absolutely.
I need one of those. I might have to get with you to get some logos made like that. My office is pretty bare right now.
Absolutely. We'll get you hooked up.
Wow. And it was Dave who really started this online thing with the Fixed Ops Mastermind some time ago. And Dave started doing it, again, as I mentioned, online at a time when I was not doing. Dave, how much was I doing online in terms of the Fixed Ops Roundtable?
LinkedIn is about all you did that was close to online.
And Dave said, no, the online is the way to go. And Kara, he's another one I fought. I said, no, there's no way. It's not. I don't like it. It's not going to happen. And then when COVID happened, here we are, right? So
you fought it even as COVID started. You had the Dallas event that you were staunch saying, I'm not canceling. We're having this.
we were like a month away, right? Maybe 5 weeks away. And David Boyle, who was on the show a couple weeks ago, rented out the La Cima Club on the top floor of the tallest building in Dallas, right? Which holds, I don't know, a couple hundred people. And then the CDC said you can only have, groups of 50 or less. So we worked out a plan. Okay, they got a couple rooms. We'll have 50 in this room, 50 in this room. Then the CDC said groups of 25. Okay, so we figured, and then we said, okay, we're going to pull it off with 25 people in a room. And then like the next day they said, okay, no groups bigger than 5.
Not going to happen.
And Dave, I thought it was just going to be one event, right?
Right.
I thought we'd go back to the physical events like the next one.
Yeah, we get through this. Well, it was going to be 2 weeks, right? Is what they said. Shut down for 2 weeks, and we'll be back to normal.
2 years
14 days.
Oh my God.
Little off on that prediction, but
I think you can reach more people though through the virtual stuff. You know, it's blessed me because I've been able to connect with so many people online that, you know, I'm running around here all the time that I was unable to come to a lot of the events that Ted had invited me to. So I think it's been great. And I think we've got a lot of great return from it as well.
Yeah, it absolutely stretches your reach, right? To be able to, I think of how many people I know in this industry that I have still yet to physically meet.
Right.
It's amazing.
Well, it's interesting because both of you, during that time of COVID, the early days, both of you were in dealership and extremely active online. Kara down at Henson on the sales side. And Dave, you were in dealership up in Massachusetts, right? And you were declared an essential business. You know, talk about those days if you don't mind.
Yeah, I mean, obviously on the one side it was good. There were a lot of people who were put out of work because of the pandemic, and you know, luckily people in our industry, a resilient industry as it is, got to keep their jobs. But certainly there were times when that was trying, right? When we didn't understand a lot about what COVID was, and you know, you weren't facing the same people every day. It was new people coming in that you were facing every single day. So it was great to be able to be out there. And you know, we did a lot of things to help all the first responders and things with specials and free oil changes. And Ford had some things out there where they gave free oil changes for first responders. It was really great to see the industry step up and help the people that were in a lot more danger than we were at the dealership.
Yeah. Wow. So, and through that whole pandemic, both of you were going the whole time. So, you know, when we took the Fixed Ops Roundtable virtual, you know, it was really a no-brainer to have both of you involved, you know, with those events moving forward. So, now when I first met you though, Dave, you didn't quite have the mastermind yet. You have another product called Trust My Work. You were, is that right?
Yeah. Trust My Work, which was a so far failed attempt at an individual review site to allow advisors and salespeople to be able to get reviews from their customers that they could carry with them, own their reviews, something that other sites didn't allow them to do. But yeah, that was something that I was working on. That site is still all built. It's not active anymore, but it's still out there. It may come back at some point if it warrants it. The review culture kind of made that difficult. You know, people were more afraid of somebody leaving a negative review rather than a positive review for them. So,
but I think a lot of good things, Dave, came out of that. A lot of good lessons, because you put together a lot of best practices and great ideas that ultimately became part of the Fixed Ops Mastermind, which I want you to tell us about, and Quantum 5. When we did the first Fixed Ops Roundtable in New York in May of 2019, up in my boardroom, you came, you took the train, and you spoke at that. And can I show a quick video clip of that?
Sure. I was a lot skinnier back then. I'd love to see it. And it's a way for advisors, for techs, for salespeople to get reviews that they can use in their careers outside of the dealership that they're in. The what Dealerator doesn't give them, what Google and Yelp doesn't give them is their own individual place to get reviews to help their careers. On the fixed ops side, I use the electronic picture frames that everybody gets their grandmothers to put the photos of the grandkids on. I take my service bulletins and anything else that may be needed by my techs or advisors, put them into a JPEG file and load them onto that electronic picture frame.
And that was just one idea that you shared, but I think all this ultimately became part of, you know, what you do today.
Yeah, I mean, everything's a learning experience if you allow it to be, right? So the picture frame idea is still out there. Actually evolved with Caesar Augustus into a business called the Dealer Information Network. So if anybody is still interested in having that in their dealership to display bulletins and things, they can reach out about that. But it all, if you look at everything as a way to learn more, then trust my work. I said failed earlier. It's we'll say on the shelf instead of failed, right? Because there were a lot of lessons that I learned from how to build a whole website from scratch, which I did not do. Had to hire programmers to do that. There's a lot of lessons there that you take and you recycle and put into the future and help yourself.
That's crazy. Well, speaking of learning, Dave, I've been reading, and I told Ted a little earlier that I've read this book a couple of times, and I'm reading it again, Think and Grow Rich. And I was thinking about the power of the mastermind. So I want to hear about your mastermind.
Yeah, absolutely. So the Fixed Ops Mastermind, as Ted mentioned, came out of that first roundtable in New York. It would have started probably 5 or 6 months later than it started if it wasn't for Ted, because I was doing a lot of planning and a lot of trying to get everything perfect and have it set up. And Ted said, you just need to do it. Just put it out there. It'll never be perfect. Just do it. So we started it. It evolved. It was going to be a mastermind for technicians and advisors to be able to get the skills that they need to advance in their careers without banging their head against the shop floor like I had to do for 30 years to find all the knowledge. This was going to make it easier for them. It turned out that advisors and techs didn't show up and all the leaders showed up. So there was a lot of people there to give the knowledge to advisors and techs and no advisors and techs. So we we'll use an overused word around today. We pivoted and changed the model into a leaders group. And so we started bringing on subject matter experts, everything from spiritual teachers, people to help with stress and breathing and meditation, all the way up to dealer principals. Adam Aarons, who came on and gave insight into how he became a dealer principal and things. We had the former mental conditioning coach for the New York Yankees came on to talk about high performance and the elements that go into that. Just a lot of great people coming in to help those leaders be better for their teams, but also to allow the leaders to help each other, right? Or across the country, there's a lot of different things going on. Sometimes the leaders themselves need help from the leaders in the group. And sometimes it's just a matter of let's kick around what the future looks like, what's coming, what we see coming, and trying to always be prepared for that. And that group is open to anybody who wants to join.
Wow. That's what I was going to ask you. How often do you meet and how do you decipher who gets to join? So anybody out there in the business can jump on?
Yeah. If they go to the Quantum website, quantum5.ai, they can go to the Fixed Ops Mastermind tab, and there's a little questionnaire there for them to fill out. And we go through all the applications to join. Obviously we have it. I don't want people to think that if you're not in a store or whatever, you can't join. We have leaders from the vendor side of things. Obviously I'm on the vendor side now. So, it's not just people in stores. There's a lot of people out there that have a lot of knowledge that is worth sharing. So awesome. Anybody can get in there and join, and we're happy to have those outside perspectives to help us.
Gotcha. So Dave, obviously I've seen you through social media and the Fixed Ops Roundtable, and I've got to know you through that. But as I'm learning more about yourself and your company here, what exactly does Quantum 5 do?
So that's a great question, and something that we talk about at Quantum 5 at times. We are at the core a technology company, but we are a technology company that is providing skills training for advisors, salespeople, parts professionals, BDC professionals in the dealership world. We have a model that allows for us to do in-dealership training, the traditional in-dealership training model. And then what differentiates us is our sustainment. something that's always lacked in dealership training, right? You come in, they got the training and they left, and somebody at the store was left holding the bag to try and keep up that training. We have a sustainment model. We have community managers that engage with the community, with the advisors, the salespeople on a daily basis. We have an app where they can go in and continue their learning, all short, quick courses, 2 to 3 minute things that they can go through and do. The typical internet world, right? It's a couple minutes and you're off. No long courses that you have to go in and do. And then we have community builders who go and visit, or community architects, that go and visit the stores every quarter and meet with the managers, find out what they need from us, what they need more of, what they need less of. And a lot of games and things inside the app for people to play to keep them engaged. So we can continue that skills building. As we all know that if you're not learning, you're dying, right? So you have to keep progressing.
And you've got a big announcement coming up here in the next couple of weeks with that app. Is that right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. In March, we have version 3.0 coming out, which is going to add a lot of really powerful features to the app that's going to drive up the engagement further. We're happy right now with engagement that is much higher than using gaming industry standards. They're anywhere from 6 to 10%, and they're rock stars. And we are up in the 40 to 50% engagement ranks with the app. So very happy with that. And all these new features are just going to drive that further up, because it's going to be more fun for them to get in there and do things. So.
And that's so important to make learning fun, right? Make
Absolutely.
it enjoyable, because then doesn't feel like learning, right?
Exactly.
Okay, we got a couple pictures from your past, Dave. One or two that I had seen before. I think we had done an online poll to see if people could guess who was who from back in the day. But we've got this one here. There you are, Dave. Look at that.
Great.
Wow. Look at that haircut.
Yeah. That's a quality mullet right there, right?
Looking at that. Yeah, that is good looking.
Look at that nice line. Look at there's the mullet right there.
Oh, there's the mullet. Yeah. What are you handling? You look kind of young to be handling that merchandise there, Dave.
A Budweiser?
Yeah, definitely too young. I'm about 17 years old right there. I actually worked in the bottle return section it was a grocery and liquor store together, but the bottle return was on the liquor store side. So back then things were a little more lax, so they had me do work inside the liquor store, which wasn't supposed to be actually handling that. But yeah, it was fun. Got to wear my shirt and tie and my manager's jacket instead of the apron everybody else was wearing. It's feeling like a big shot.
You look like a big shot there. Yeah, I like it. What's this one here? Because I see you on the left and you're wearing something on your head. What is that?
Yeah, well, that's a helmet. That's whitewater rafting up in Maine. So that's just a helmet. We had actually some inflatable frogs that we taped to the top of the helmets. So when you're going down the river, they have people who do photography while you're going down the river. And we wanted to make sure that we could pick ourselves out in the photography. So we thought it'd be a great idea to tape frogs to the top of our heads. What we didn't realize is when you get tossed out of the boat, 99% of the time you come up underneath the boat and you can just reach up and grab onto it, unless you have an inflatable frog on your head and then your arms aren't long enough to grab the boat.
Oh my gosh.
So when you fall out and you come up onto the boat and you try to grab it, your arms aren't long enough, and then the boat floats away. Yeah. See, there's some of the other people that were with us had these other dragons on their heads. And then we put frogs, and it was a bad idea. Because once that happens, you're only under there for a second, right? And then the boat's floating away, and then you're going down the whitewater in your life jacket until you catch up to the boat again. So that was a lot of fun, though.
It sounds like quite an adventure.
A giant frog on your head.
And this,
I would love to see that.
you still got that helmet, Dave?
No, they keep the helmet. Okay. It's fun. They give a safety speech before you go. and they tell you that they have these, I forget what they call them, snags or something. And they said if you fall out and you get caught in one of those snags, so you're underneath the water,
Okay.
he tells you to very calmly unbuckle all the clips in your life jacket, and everybody's listening carefully, like this is going to save your life. And then he says, because eventually the life jacket will float to the surface and we can get it back.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
All right. One last picture we have of you, and this one I had never seen before. And you look like you're wearing a uniform here, Dave.
Yeah, that's the hidden part of my past. I never let out, but yeah, I was a police officer. I was part-time for 99% of that. I was full-time for a very short time. And I know in most parts of the country, people don't understand part-time police officers, but in Massachusetts, it's a pretty common thing in smaller departments to have people who are part-time just work 2 or 3 shifts a week rather than doing it full-time. So that was a lot, as you can tell by the lights on the car there. That was a long time ago. That was probably 2000-ish.
Look at the lights. Yeah, that's right. We don't have it anymore. Like
yeah,
that,
not those big bubbles anymore.
That's funny. Well, so you only worked part-time, but do you have any funny stories or anything from when you were a police officer? Did anything crazy happen to you?
So there were a lot of funny things. It was actually, believe it or not, even in my small town, I was in a couple of chases. I was in one that the state police were chasing somebody, and I parked my cruiser after the guy had kind of skidded out, and so I went around and parked my cruiser to block traffic from coming up, and the guy got his car going and hit the cruiser and ripped the whole nose of the cruiser off. So that was kind of fun. On the funny side, we had an alarm call one night in the middle of winter, not unlike it is now. And so we pulled into the building at the top. There was a parking lot that was above the building. So we pulled into the parking lot above the building. And as the person I was working with was coming in, I said, "Hey, be careful. The parking lot's kind of icy." So he came in and he parked his cruiser next to mine, and we got out of our cruisers. And as we got ready to start walking down to the building to go check the building, his cruiser starts sliding on the ice. And so we went to try and get it, and we both fall on the ice, and his cruiser is sliding in the parking lot, and it's going downhill, and then it goes around a little driveway down near the building, and it's sliding toward this giant propane tank.
Oh.
So we are literally laying on the ground, like holding on to each other so we don't slide ourselves, and watching this cruiser slide toward what we thought was going to be a giant propane explosion. And it stopped before it got to the propane tank. But
Wow.
that was him, and I still laugh about that when we get together. It was funny only because it didn't explode.
Yeah, it's been bad.
Wow.
Yeah, that the stuff when I did work, it was midnights. It was 11 to 7. So you saw a lot of things a lot of people didn't normally see. So
Goodness.
it was fun. It was fun, but it's obviously it's a dangerous career. And with kids and a wife, they don't enjoy that so much. On top of the fact that you're working in a small town, you're not making a lot of money. So if you're when you're full time, if your eyes are open, you're working. That's what we used to say. So other than that, you were getting a little sleep.
Wow. Didn't know any of that about you, Dave. So
yeah. It was a little quick foray out of the automotive business, and then once the gas is in your veins, it calls you back.
Yep. And speaking of getting called back, we have a big event coming up in March, Kara. It's coming up virtually. Is that right?
It is. It's called March Magic. It's going to be awesome. It's on March 9th, 10th, and 11th. We're overlapping NADA a little bit, but if you're like me, you'll be able to attend both of those things since the Fixed Ops Roundtable is going to be, once again, virtual, like Ted had said. So get your tickets now, guys. They're complimentary. Just go over to fixedopsroundtable.com and get in early so you don't forget.
Yep. Fixedopsroundtable.com, everybody. The seats are complimentary. Get in, and Quantum 5 is going to be a big part of that Fixed Ops Roundtable, Dave. So, thank you for and the team there. I know some people on the team, for all that you do there. And in fact, next week, Kara, here on After Dark next Monday night, we're going to have with us David O'Brien from Quantum 5. And it's going to be the special February 14th Valentine's Day edition. So David's going to be here for that. You're not going to want to miss that. David's got some great stories to share with us. So, Dave, we look forward to hearing from Mr. O'Brien and all he's got to share as well.
Absolutely. He's been around the industry longer than I have, so I'm sure he has some great stories to tell from the past.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun. Dave and David.
Yes.
Your trend there. Your name is Dave or David. You're going to be successful in this industry.
Absolutely. No doubt.
Odds are.
I love it. Well, I'm so glad I finally got to learn more about what you do, Dave. And now I'm thinking about that mastermind stuff. I might have to catch one of those here soon.
Absolutely.
It's going to be pretty interesting. So
yeah, every Tuesday night, 8 p.m.
Yeah, I'll try to make one. Anyways, guys, it's been a great show. On behalf of Ted Ings and Dave Foy, sorry, so many Daves, and Kara Delane, obviously, guys. We'll see you next Monday at 8 p.m. for another amazing show. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you, Dave. Thanks, Ted.
Thanks for having me. Take care.